with their feud in the past month largely taking over as the hottest program on WWF television. Rock vs. Chris Jericho in a rematch of their classic match at the No Mercy pay-per-view was set to headline Raw from the Nassau Coliseum on November 5 with 4 days of hype after officially announcing the WCW title match on SmackDown last Thursday, and with aspects of business in recent months sliding from the all-time peak of the past 3 years. Last Saturday, with record ticket sales for WrestleMania 18 in Toronto, things were put in perspective, with the company still doing near all-time record business compared to almost any other period in history, with Vince McMahon who opened Raw to add another twist to the Survivor Series winner-take-all match by countering Shane's Kurt Angle swerve last week to announce Steve Austin jumping back to the WWF to bring him out for the response. Talking about the current state of the WWF in an interview during the week to hint at a major overhaul of the TV product right after blowing off the Alliance angle at the Survivor Series pay-per-view, saying that it's time to move on from the WWF vs. Alliance angle and get things back on track in the TV storylines, again confirming the long-term plan of separating the roster to 2 equal touring groups, with the company now having the biggest talent roster in its history with more major additions on the way in the next few months, with McMahon, while not confirming the date for the split, saying that it's gonna happen somewhere between November and March 2002, while talking about potential issues that might come with a roster split due to major names being exclusive to one show a week, saying that they will discuss the timeline with their TV networks and TNN and UPN, as they can't under the current format continue to have the entire roster on one show. And it can be good in the long run to cut the exposure of the top names in half, with viewers for example only able to see Rock on Thursdays instead of up to 3 times a week, with Vince who said that he's currently being advised by several people behind the scenes to wait with the split until after WrestleMania 18. Confirming talks with Hall and Nash in recent weeks, saying that JR is handling the negotiations, along with rumors on Ric Flair being close to reach an agreement to soon have a potential massive boost of interest for the revamped product starting on the Monday after Survivor Series in 2 weeks. Raw's top match of the first hour featured Edge vs. Test for the IC title, going 5 minutes to end in a title change, with Test going over in a match between 2 of the young wrestlers in line for a major push in the near future, followed by Rock confronting Vince on him potentially bringing Austin back to the WWF after the tease in the opening promo, with Vince saying that he would do anything to ensure the survival of the WWF, with Rock telling him that he should bring back Austin as he has been waiting, setting the stage for the eventual Rock-Austin clash on a major stage, with them having the long-planned WrestleMania 17 rematch under different circumstances 2 days ago at the Rebellion pay-per-view in England, headlining the event in Manchester in front of a sold-out crowd of over 15,000 people in their first televised singles match since the Mania main event, but with the show only available worldwide at a special screening at WWF New York on Saturday. The heavily hyped rematch is still being saved for a bigger stage at a later date, with Raw after dropping below the 4 rating range for the first hour with less viewers per home, resulting in it drawing 4.6 million viewers in one of the lowest rated hours of Raw in years, opening the second hour with the second highest profile match of the night, seeing Kurt Angle vs. Undertaker going 9 minutes, with the Taker-Angle match following up on the backstage talk of the past week, with Vince McMahon reportedly originally planning to turn Taker as the one to join the Alliance, which ended up being Angle to close the show last Monday, with the match seeing Austin interfering to lay out Taker after their main event on SmackDown last Thursday, in a match that also saw Taker accidentally cutting Austin's face with a chair to result in him needing 18 stitches after a similar injury to the back of the head. Recently saw Vince opening up Austin with a chair shot at the No Mercy pay-per-view. With the loaded WWF roster contributing to Vince McMahon's plan of wanting to split it to 2 groups due to the established star power currently taking up the majority of their 4 hours of primetime television, in a similar situation to the WCW roster at its peak, with 3 tiers of top names taking the major spots on the cards. One of the few new names who were able to break through to a prominent role on the shows, and Rhino underwent neck operation on Friday at the same doctor who did the Austin and Benoit surgeries to take him out for between 6 months to a year, in a major blow to his career, with every performer on the roster fighting for his spot with any time off, resulting in a quick replacement with a large group waiting on the sidelines for any opportunity. While in the opposite direction, Eddie Guerrero, after a stint in rehab in the past several months, returned to WWF house shows over the weekend, having his first match back on Saturday, with Eddie in a radio interview a day later crediting JR and the WWF for helping him with a rehab, while also praising Eric Bischoff for taking care of him financially after his early 1999 car accident that started his problem with painkillers. With the WWF on Saturday also seeing tickets going on sale for WrestleMania 18 at the Toronto Sky Dome to see the show already setting records with the largest first-day ticket sales for any event in the history of Canada, selling over 53,000 tickets in 3 hours to almost guarantee it being the highest-grossing event in company history by March 2002. With Raw after a match between the two highest-profile members of the Alliance, with Booker vs. Van Dam working against each other, seeing Rock and Jericho win the final hype promos for the main event title match coming up next. Rock made his entrance at 10:42 p.m. before going to the final commercial break, followed by Jericho coming out 5 minutes later to kick off the match at 10:48 p.m. with Rock and Jericho going over 15 minutes in the TV main event, and one of the longest matches on Raw in years, with SmackDown, which last Thursday kicked off with Rock and Jericho losing the tag titles to Booker and Test to set up tonight's WCW title rematch, continued to hold steady on network television with 6.2 million viewers compared to the sliding Raw on Monday nights, after a near 2 million viewers gap between the shows last week. Rock vs. Jericho crossed over to the 6-minute overrun, with them putting on another strong performance in the follow-up of the memorable No Mercy match, jumping over 800,000 viewers to peak the night with a 4.5 rating, ending up with Rock reversing Jericho's Wall's attempt to roll him up for the finish to win back the title, seeing Raw remaining at the 4 rating range overall for the night on the back of the main event, with Rock set to go into Survivor Series with the title with 1 more week of build-up left until the new direction of the product post the Alliance angle, with 13 days to the pay-per-view.